What's up, Raptors fans? Welcome to the Warriors Report. We have a big trade to announce regarding the Toronto Raptors. So the Raptors have finally gotten rid of Goran Dragic. We've been hearing that saga all season long, and there's a lot of chatter in this morning that there's a three-team deal between the Knicks and Lakers, and obviously that hasn't happened because the Raptors are sending Goran Dragic to the Spurs. Now, this was tweeted out by Shams Charania, who is a very legitimate source. Even Adrian Wojnarowski was tweeting this out as well, so it seems like it's a done deal. And the Raptors are receiving Thadeus Young, Drew Eubanks, and a 2022 Pistons second rounder, which should be a very high second round pick considering how the Pistons are playing this season. And in return, the Raptors are sending Goran Dragic to the Spurs, a 2022 first round draft pick. And again, I'm not too thrilled about that. I'll tell you in just a second. But it is a protected 1-14 and protected 1-13 in 2023, turning into future second round picks. Now, my initial thoughts on this is really, this is all we could get for Goran Dragic, considering all of those rumors we heard about potentially Talen Horton-Tucker and Nerlens Noel's coming to the Raptors. And we get, look, I get it, we get an expiring contract in Thad Young, but we're giving up a first round pick. I understand the Spurs are not doing this deal without that pick because, let's be honest, they're not just taking Goran Dragic, who, by the way, they're rumored to be likely to buy out very soon, and the Mavericks are front runners to acquire Goran Dragic, which is kind of sad because Mavericks essentially get him without giving up anything. But why are we giving up a first round pick? These are my initial thoughts. We could have gotten something back, a lot more back for Goran Dragic. I'm not too thrilled with this, but I'll give you my full opinion in just a second. But let's break down the players we have received in Thadeus Young and Drew Eubanks. So when you take a look at Thadeus Young, he's obviously had a down season with the Spurs, and the Spurs are obviously favoring towards a younger movement, towards the youth, and he's not getting as much playing time. As you see there, he's getting 14 minutes only. He's only started 1 game for the Spurs, and he's only played 26 games as well. He's listed at, I believe, 6'8", 235 pounds, so power forward. You can play him at the small forward position, but just overall, he doesn't shoot the three-point ball, which is what the Raptors need so desperately. They need three-point shooting off of the bench. But look, his statistics may not look that great. 6.1 points. Rebounds, he's averaging 3.6. He's giving you a decent amount of assists for someone who's only playing 14.2 minutes, guys. We need to keep that in mind. He's essentially playing what, some of our end-of-the-bench guys were playing early in the season. So I'm okay with this trade. I'm not too excited about giving up a first-round pick, and I'm not against the idea of keeping Thadeus Young, but likely this means that we're probably very likely to move on from Chris Boucher or potentially Khem Birch and maybe try to acquire a center or some shooting because, look, the free throw percentage is terrible as well, right? 45% isn't something to, that's probably the worst on our team if we're being honest. And even throughout his career, it's not just this season, he hasn't even shot the free throw ball over 77%, which was his best season. So again, there's some issues that the Raptors had to solve in terms of shooting, in terms of free throw. I know you're not going to get a guy that checks off every box, but I don't know how I feel about this. I know he's a solid defender. I'm not trying to be too negative about this trade. He's a solid defender. He gives you size. He's 6'8", but we already have a lot of front court help. What we really needed was a center or a shooter or someone at shooting guard / small forward, right? Unless Nick Nurse decides to play him at the small forward position, give OG Anunoby a little bit of a break, that works out as well. Again, don't get me wrong, I really like Thadeus Young. He isn't on an expiring contract as well, but personally, I was hoping for a shooter. Right now, let's talk about his contract details because he's making $14.1 million this season, and he's obviously an expiring contract, so it doesn't hurt your cap space moving forward. But I'm curious as to what this means for guys like Chris Boucher, potentially Khem Birch, or we're very likely to make more moves. Now, let's talk about the other guy we got in this deal as well. That was Drew Eubanks. Now, I'm not going to lie, I don't know much about Drew Eubanks. So I'm just going off of statistics. I don't know how he is defensively, but for the season with the Spurs, he's playing about 12 minutes again. Not a lot of minutes. He's shooting the ball decent, 52% from the field, but he doesn't shoot the three ball again. So, you're acquiring players that can't shoot the three ball, and we already have trouble outside of our starting five. We don't have any shooting off of the bench, and his free throw percentage is decent, 74%. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, he's listed at 6'9", 6'10". He's about 240 pounds, so it gives you a little bit more size. Again, this probably means we're likely moving Chris Boucher, given the fact that Drew Eubanks is listed as a power forward. I don't know if you want to play him as a center, but again, I can't comment too much on his defense. I don't know how well he plays defensively, but he's only getting you 4 rebounds, right? So 4 rebounds, 1 assist. It could be this. Drew Eubanks could be one of those under the radar players that you get in a trade that performs really, really well. Again, I'm not expecting big things out of him, but 4 rebounds in 12 minutes isn't too shabby, and he's averaging 4.7 minutes. Again, I don't want to comment too much. I just had wished the Raptors would have gotten some 3-point shooting, given obviously their lack of from the bench. And I think Drew Eubanks could be a decent bench piece, actually. You know what? Get him more involved on the offense. And he's doing this, look, he's doing this on 3 shots. So I think these are decent statistics. I can't comment too much on his offensive game as well because I don't know much. But in terms of what he gives the Raptors, he's on a contract that is very friendly, 1.7 million. And the next season, he's making 1.9 million. So it's not digging too much into your salary cap. You don't have to worry about that. Now, Drew Eubanks, there we go, guys. There we go. There's his height and weight. So he's listed at 6'9", 245 pounds, actually. So decent size, right? Decent size. He's still 25 years old. Fairly young player, forward, center. You can play him in different positions. But like I said, we're already very stacked at the forward / power forward position. So what does this mean for Chris Boucher? I mean, I'm assuming most very likely Chris Boucher is definitely being moved. And there's a lot of reports. I know people will say this is a negative trade. Now, I want to focus a little bit on the positives as well, because there's actually just chatter going on about 15 minutes ago. There's a tweet saying that the Raptors and Goran Dragic are discussing a buyout. So potentially, maybe Goran Dragic is holding the Raptors hostage by saying, hey, I'm not going to the Knicks. I'm not going to the Lakers. Maybe that's why some of those deals fell through. And maybe we don't know. Again, we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. The Raptors wanted to obviously get this deal done early, it looks like, so they can jump on some other trades. I don't think the Raptors are done making trades, guys. So again, obviously, you would think the Raptors would want to keep Thadeus Young. Maybe they flip him for something better. We'll have to wait and see. But these are my initial thoughts. I'm probably giving this a C+, if I'm being honest. And that's probably being a little bit generous. I don't understand the first round pick given up. Personally, like I've always said, I know it's a protected first, but I personally only give up a first round pick if you're getting a really solid player back. And I mean, Thad Young is an expiring contract. So you give up essentially a first round. I know it's protected for an expiring contract. I don't know how I feel about that. So I do want to hear from you guys. What do you think of these trades? What do you think of this trade? And what do you think of the return we got from Goran Dragic and that first round pick we give up? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And that will be it for this video, guys. So make sure to stay tuned for more Raptors updates as the trade deadline progresses throughout the day. And that will be it for this video, guys. So thank you so much for watching. And I hope you guys have yourselves a great day.